go. Just got the 13.2.6 update last night, so I'm going to take you along for the ride here. Kind of just sort of picking it up at the beginning of my drive here as I head to work, so let me make some adjustments I need to make. So it's been a little bit since I've gotten the update, or have gotten an update. So I'd been on 13.2.1 or 13.2.2.1 or something like that for the longest time. But now we're sitting here. We can check as we go with 13.2.6 finally. Hey, getting yelled at. It's actually a pretty windy morning too. So kind of see how the car handles with gusts. We're not supposed to get big gusts today, but leaving my neighborhood just a little bit ago and seeing the dirt blowing across the road, and you might be able to see that right now as I get sand blasted, all the sand on the road from when we had a bunch of snowstorms recently. And that's the one thing in Colorado they like to do, is just drop sand with a bunch of rocks on the road, and so your car kind of goes through a nice little sandstorm every time, and especially on a morning like today or a day like today that it's windy out. So anyway, but we're headed up, getting yelled at again. I barely even looked down, but yeah, anyway, so got the update last night for my Model Y here. So we're running, like I said, 13.2.6 finally. The previous version obviously had been handling totally fine. The past two videos I've made, one in a snowstorm, and done a pretty good job. But see how everybody's been raving about this new this most recent version of FSD. So I'll kind of take you along for my ride here, kind of going towards work. So we'll get on to Interstate 25 in Colorado Springs and make our way up. So it's usually the typical kind of how I showcase this, right? Coming down here on what is called State Highway 115, turns into South Nevada. A little busier stretch here that gets you to merge onto I-25. Get some gusts, see how the car handles in, some windy gusts, and how the car is able to handle the wind as it comes across, especially on the interstate. And I don't think my car preconditioned this morning, even though I have it scheduled to do it. So that's why I'm getting my little cold battery symbol there on the screen. It's always fun. I mean, I left about 10 minutes late than I usually do, so still should have been done its preconditioning, but I don't think it did today. So I'm going to check my settings. And this is I know I've said in previous videos, this is a stretch that has a lot of homeless pedestrian traffic, especially as you get underneath the interstate up here and get ready to get turned onto it. And you can see probably, it's morning time and there's a lot of people, a lot of the transient population that are out right now. But then I got the email just the other day, right? I do the monthly subscription to FSD, so I got a free trial that's coming up here. So I guess I'm getting a month free. So I got that email yesterday too. I think those have been going out. So there's free trials that have been going out to people here and there. So I got mine last night, which is nice. So keep rolling here. But a little bit of construction area right here too. Lanes are shifting. So the car's been handling very well in this area. To get into the turn lanes that get you onto I-25. one thing I noticed yesterday is it was like right here, this spot right here, like I was almost blocking the intersection though too. I mean, we're not gonna run into that today, it looks like, but actually me and another Tesla yesterday kind of both blocked the intersection, so I don't know, maybe he was running some full self-driving as well, some supervised FSD, but get a little worried there because you're like, don't want to block the intersection. Like I said, so yeah, we're underneath the interstate right now, getting into the turn lanes. Want to catch it on video one time, but you get sometimes, especially up here at the crosswalk as we turn, you know, people that kind of not jump out, but get out in front, and obviously you have to react. I think one time that's happened, the car reacted good. Wasn't able to capture it or get it on video though. But, oh well. But like I said, because there's a lot of homeless in this area. Even this whole area over here has been, you know, deemed off limits kind of too. Used to be like a little park and ride area. Kind of abandoned that. But, you know, nice little view. You can kind of see Pikes Peak up there as we on the on-ramp to I-25. One thing I noticed, like yesterday, I mean, obviously driving yesterday on the older version, one point the speed limit's 65 on this interstate in the city. Once you get, you know, either north or south of the city, it bumps up to 75. But at one point in the middle of the city, I was going like 80. Right? I mean, you know, it's going with the flow of traffic a little bit. But that was a little fast for me. Because one, I don't want to get that right there is going to probably give me a speeding ticket. Let's be 15 miles an hour over. Most cops, I think, will probably get you for that. And then here's the question. I mean, you can comment below, but what do you tell a cop when you're getting pulled over and you're like, wow, the car was driving me? You know, I had autonomous driving or full self-driving on, and I don't think you're going to get out of a speeding ticket for that, but anyway. But nice little Mornington drive, huh? And there you go, there's the sun's coming up, downtown Colorado Springs with the U.S. Olympic Museum. Full view there. I'm not paying attention because I'm looking out the window. It's going to be great when we have unsupervised full self-driving. Because me, especially with this, I like to look around a lot. Alright, like I said, like right there's the sun coming up. But you like to look around a lot because you have the option, right? Not going to knock the views that we get sometimes. Like I said, there's Pikes Peak out that way as you're driving in this city. You know, so yeah. Speaking of speed, right? I mean, this is fine with me. That's usually what I go. 65 mile an hour speed limit. You know, between 72 to 74. You know, and this is obviously set to go with the flow of traffic. Or what do they call that? It's gonna be autopilot. Getting yelled at though. But anyway, back to it. I'm not noticing anything too drastic, drastic changes in the positive or even in the negatives as well. It's pretty typical drive. So we're coming into a work zone with a 60 mile an hour speed limit sign there, but it did not change on the screen here from 65 to 60. So that could be a problem. I mean, in instance, right? So now we're speeding through a work zone. I mean, the car got over. We're slowing down though, so noticing too, a lot of, especially because I make this drive every day, obviously coming up to work, but past few days of like some really, not, I don't want to say random lane changes, but lane changes that it's like, why? Because get over, get back, you know, why is the car doing that? I mean, obviously we know it's still learning, but now, see, now it's changed to 60, so I don't know if it's all another one. But the good drive so far, sun's coming up. Like I said, there's Pikes Peak in the background. Like I said, eventually I'll get a better mount to make these recordings. But just got a little tripod, and for now I guess that'll work, so it's a little bumpy. I feel like my goal eventually for FSD, I don't know how it would ever do it, especially when you're coming up, you know, you're running 70 miles an hour here, but to recognize potholes, right? The biggest frustration in this state, this city, in this state, in this area of the country are potholes, right? You know, this stretch right here is kind of more of like a concrete stretch, and so you don't usually see it. You don't usually see the potholes in this area, but asphalt, like coming right out of my neighborhood, I didn't catch it on recording this morning because I didn't start it until that light. Is a huge pothole right now. You know, we've had a lot of wet snow recently that's come melted, and so there's this huge pothole, right? And it was even expanded this morning, so drove wasn't terrible, at least, because a little further to the right is like, I mean, talk about let's just say a canyon of a pothole, but hit the new part of it this morning, no other real way around it. I might have to start going straight, honestly, because until they fill that up. But potholes are a big deal around here. So is there any way to get this car and this software to even recognize it? And then what's it obviously going to do, especially if you're driving middle lane on a busy interstate and there's a pothole dead center, or you know, you're going to go right into it. What kind of adjustment can the car make? Would be the challenge, I suppose. But it's interesting. Usually it's busier as I drive up here, especially if it's this time of the morning. Typically I leave a little bit earlier than that, about 6:45, and get to work at 7:15. So if I usually wait a little past that, then you typically see more traffic, but we're doing good though. Here, can I get a nice thumbnail? Bam. Got it. Sorry, I had to get the thumbnail for the video. A shot of Pikes Peak is not a bad. this is typically a good spot right here where State Patrol likes to camp out underneath this bridge, and because we're going about from 65 and here probably in like not even a half a mile to 75, and so people in this area will start speeding up. So State Patrol likes to sit back there and get you a little bit as you're making that speed increase, because cars are usually making that speed increase. But with FSD, I mean, obviously it does a pretty good job keeping up with the flow of traffic. Like I said earlier, sometimes a little bit more than I'd like, but you know, we're running up here 74 and here just past this bridge it's going to switch to 75. Try to get another good thumbnail. Right out there is the U.S. Air Force Academy for people who want context. That's probably the. So, gotta get your eyes on the road. But we got about 3.5 miles to the exit. I'll take you guys a little bit up the road that it takes for me to go to work, because especially with the sun right now, see how it behaves with the sun just driving straight into it a lot of times. It's windy, especially right up here, so we're getting a little bit of this cross. You probably can't hear it on, but hearing the wind coming across the car. Going 75, there's probably a good speed to go with this, and it's handling. I don't feel anything that's jittering to obviously control and help with the wind. At the steering wheel and stuff, but it's adjusting. I can feel it a little bit more. It's getting a little windier right here. Right, so you know, west to east crosswinds against this interstate, like especially when you get. We don't have any high wind warnings there or anything. It's just gusty wind today. But, you know, high-profile vehicles will get told not to drive necessarily because, you know, when you're going north to south and these winds are coming off the mountains here in Colorado, they can get rolling. So, like, we live at the base of Cheyenne Mountain down south here in Colorado Springs, and it's a little windy at home. You know, watching the trees in the backyard really whipping a little bit. I mean, not terrible, but still. Coming up on our exit in just under a mile. And at least it got over, because a lot of times when I'm coming up here, I mean, I'm getting real close and I'm still in the center lane trying to, you know, wait for the car to get over, to get off. So we get off in what's called North Gate, which is like the north gate to the north entrance, or the North Gate entrance to the United States Air Force Academy. Again, right out there is the Air Force Academy. But we'll go east, not to the academy, because that's not where I work. Like I said, we'll see what it looks like if we're going to be driving straight into the sun. Getting off on the exit here. There's a little roundabout here. We don't go fully through this roundabout or not, because we go off to the right and go east. But for the longest time though, it like almost come to a complete stop up here, like watching for traffic. And as more recent versions has come into play, it does what I usually do, because I can see there's no cars coming. and go right through it, which is good. But once we come up and crest this hill, see what the sun does to it. Because this time of the day, we're going to drive right into it. I'm going to get my sunglasses ready too. So here we go. Right into it. Right, because that's a huge part here. You're going to drive with, the idea of an autonomous vehicle, and being able to see the road, and obviously Tesla is using Tesla Vision with the cameras to run this, but we're popping right straight into the sun here. So it does a good job though. The other versions, haven't had any big issues either, but this is kind of not a windy road, but a little bit of a windy road. Come summertime, that sun's going to be almost like right here, straight head dead on when you're driving down here. But anyway, so we'll go ahead, once we get to this stoplight here, we're stopping, and we'll go ahead and stop. But thanks for coming along with that new version, running 13.2.6. Got that update last night, so it was fun to take you along for the ride. I'll see you next time.